I'm happy to be here. I hope that we get some wins in here for you guys, but continue to come out and support. And yeah, go Fever. I'm here. DB is here. I have arrived.
I didn't think that. I just assumed Dewanna Bonner was going to go play with Alyssa Thomas. I think everyone just assumed Dewanna Bonner was going to go play with Alyssa Thomas. And it turns out not only did Dewanna Bonner not end up going to play with Alyssa Thomas, turns out that she had an option that would have almost certainly, you would have thought, guaranteed her a championship, and she chose not to go there and go to Indiana instead.
Picture this. You're a WNBA star. Teams are throwing offers at you like free samples at Costco, and you hit them with a nope. That's exactly what Dewanna Bonner just did, turning down rival teams to possibly join Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever.
And that you can see here from The Athletic. The Lynx also explored trading for Thomas, league sources told The Athletic, and looked at signing her fiancé and former Sun teammate Dewanna Bonner.
Somewhere in the Minnesota Lynx front office, someone is still staring at their phone, waiting for a callback that's never coming. Dewanna Bonner looked at their offer, squinted a little, and then politely hit them with the, "I'm good, love. Enjoy." Instead, she packed her bags for Indiana, where Caitlin Clark was probably already texting her like, "So, you trying to win a ring or nah?"
Reason Dewanna Bonner chose Fever over the Lynx and Mercury. Wow. So Indiana Fever star Dewanna Bonner turned down 2 elite teams in free agency for a powerful season.
Let's be real. Bonner is 36. She's not out here playing for team chemistry and good vibes. She wants to win, and she wants to win now. The Lynx? They're like that ex who swears they've changed, but deep down, you know it's going to be the same drama. The Fever? Oh, they're looking like a championship contender who just hit the free agency lottery.
Phoenix also heavily courted Bonner, league sources said, yet the desire to win immediately, among other factors, led to the Indiana Fever. So 2 things in that piece there. 2 things. One, the Minnesota Lynx. I didn't know they were a part of that whole deal. That's new information. And another contending team, mind you, a team that was in the WNBA finals last season. And
Minnesota probably tried to hit Bonner with the whole "we're building something special" speech, maybe even threw in a PowerPoint presentation about their bright future. But Bonner took one glance at Caitlin Clark, pulling up from 30 feet, and Aaliyah Boston eating rebounds for breakfast and said, "Yeah, that looks way more fun."
She chose to not go play with a team where the referee's ignoring a cha-cha slide and then a clean block and giving free throws away from winning a championship because she wants to win. How good are this Fever team going to be? Like, how good do these free agents think the Fever are going to be?
And don't get it twisted. This isn't just about Bonner. Caitlin Clark is not here for some long, patient rebuild. She did not drop 40 points on teams that had one job, stop her, just to come to the WNBA and develop. Nope. She wants a chip, and she wants it fast. If the Indiana Fever had a timeline before, Clark crumpled it up and shot it into the trash like a deep 3.
Goes on to say, there's no doubt that despite being 37 years old, Dewanna Bonner was highly sought after by many teams in free agency. March 4th article stated that from several writers from The Athletic that the Fever, along with her reason for her, kind of turning down these other teams.
So when Bonner had to choose between the Lynx and the Fever, it wasn't a tough decision. On one side, you've got a team that's working on it. On the other, you've got Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and a squad that's starting to look scary. Add in Bonner, and the Fever are suddenly built like a team that's trying to skip all the struggle years. Meanwhile, over in Minnesota, the Lynx front office is probably holding emergency meetings like, "Okay, plan B? Anybody got a plan B?" The WNBA is shifting, and Caitlin Clark is at the center of it. Players aren't just coming to Indiana for the experience. They're coming to win. Bonner saw the vision. She's not here for a farewell tour. She's here to win some games, make some buckets, and maybe let Caitlin Clark do all the exhausting shooting while she picks her spots like a seasoned vet. So while Minnesota is over there trying to figure out what just happened, the Fever are stacking up talent and getting ready to go from a fun underdog story to an actual problem. And if you think Caitlin Clark is going to let this opportunity slip away, you clearly haven't been paying attention.
I'm really excited. I think Kelly and Amber have done a really good job of, finding pieces that fit. It makes me excited about the future, obviously, with Steph and her staff coming in here, and my ability to work out with Keith all off-season has been really fun, but it's been fun. I got to work out with DB, and as some off-season leagues and overseas stuff kind of wraps up, a lot of them will start getting back, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to get in the gym and be with my teammates and, just start putting the pieces together and see what works, what doesn't work. But I think we're going to have a lot of different options to do a lot of different things, and I think that's what's super exciting about it all. I feel very fortunate and lucky to come here to stay in the Midwest.
However, the Minnesota Lynx had a dream. A big one. They wanted Dewanna Bonner. They had the money, the roster spot, and even a PowerPoint presentation with way too many animations. They were ready to roll out the red carpet. But this wasn't just any nah. This was the kind of nah that meant she had her eyes set on something bigger. Something with brighter lights, louder fans, and ticket sales that break records. Enter the Indiana Fever, the team that doesn't just fill arenas. They force opponents to relocate games because demand is too high. Bonner saw the madness, the hype, and Caitlin Clark casually draining logo threes, and she knew where she belonged.
Provide the knowledge and explain playoff sim a little bit better so we can be better prepared and don't get punched in the face the first game. And it's hard to come back when you do that the first game. It's hard to come back and try to win 2 straight against a veteran team. So I think they got it, and I think that it's going to be steps throughout the regular season that get us prepared for that, because every game, every single night is going to be hard. These teams have changed a lot in this league, and every team has loaded up and gotten better. So I think that the regular season is going to definitely prepare us for that.
Last year,
But let's be honest. Bonner isn't just ring chasing at this point. She's chasing the ultimate basketball experience. Playing with Clark means stepping into a nightly spectacle where every game feels like the Super Bowl. The energy, the noise, the nationwide obsession, it's all there. And Bonner, being the veteran she is, knew exactly what she was signing up for: the front row seat to the biggest show in women's basketball. As for the Lynx, well, they'll recover. They'll dust themselves off, shift their focus, and probably sign another solid player. Or maybe they'll just sit quietly in their office, watching Fever highlights on repeat, wondering what could have been. Either way, Indiana just pulled off another win, and they haven't even stepped on the court yet.
Push their team to get over the finish line. It's playoffs, so emotions are high, tension is high, but I can be more excited to step on the court with Caitlin. We actually had a great workout this morning, and I think we just feed well off each other. So I'm just here to hopefully, give my little leadership advice. I don't feel like I need to push her to be any type of player that she isn't already is, and I'm just happy to be here, and I hope that I can give her some knowledge to take her game to a different level, so when I retire, she can pass that along, to other players.
The Indiana Fever, yes, the team that was basically a WNBA afterthought for years, has suddenly become the hottest destination in the league. Why? One name, Caitlin Clark. It's like she waved a magic wand and turned Indiana into the promised land for WNBA players. Veterans who once scoffed at the idea of playing in Indiana are now suddenly clearing their schedules and subtly dropping hints to their agents. Oh, I've always loved Indianapolis. Great city, great cornfields. Because let's be real, this isn't about the weather, the nightlife, or even the team's recent performance. It's about one thing: the Caitlin Clark effect. Clark hasn't even played a professional game yet, but the Fever already have more attention than they've had in the last decade combined. TV networks are rearranging their schedules, jersey sales are exploding. Reporters who previously couldn't spell Indiana without autocorrect are now camping outside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And WNBA players? They see what's happening. They see the endorsements rolling in. They see the packed arenas. They see the media obsession. They see a chance to finally get the level of recognition they've been fighting for.
And Indiana Fever just won the championship. They just won the championship. Now, we do remember what happened in the playoffs with Dewanna Bonner and Caitlin Clark, so it might be some chemistry meshing. They might have to sit down together and talk a little bit, but this is major, fam.
It's like being in a blockbuster movie after years of playing background roles in low-budget indie films. Everyone suddenly wants a part in the action. Players who once cared about going to contenders are now thinking, wait, playing with Caitlin means primetime games, more sponsorship deals, and people actually watching? Agents are making calls they never thought they'd make. Hey, so about that Indiana offer, yeah, my client is suddenly very interested. Meanwhile, the Fever's front office is probably feeling like the bouncer at an exclusive club. Sorry, we're at capacity, unless you're like a walking double-double. For years, players had to beg for the spotlight. Now, that spotlight is stationed in Indiana, and everyone wants a piece. The Fever are the team to watch, not just for basketball, but for the attention, the money, the career-boosting opportunities. Coaches from other teams are probably in disbelief. Wait, we have a championship roster, but Indiana is the dream destination because of one rookie? Yes, they are. This is what happens when a generational talent brings a once-ignored franchise into the mainstream. Suddenly, Indiana is Hollywood, and every WNBA player wants their name on the marquee.
And I think that they made the right call on that because they knew her play would attract better players to Indiana. Like, it's been hard for them to get players to sign to Indiana because they're in Indiana. And because those games typically were very empty, there was no energy behind the Fever since they won their championships when Tamika Catchings was there. So Caitlin has basically come in and rejuvenated the entire franchise. And now it's an attractive place for free agents.
Cheryl Swoops is somewhere shaking her head, mumbling under her breath about how the WNBA ain't what it used to be. She said nobody wanted to join the Indiana Fever. That was before Caitlin Clark got drafted. That was before the Fever started collecting players like they were assembling the Infinity Gauntlet. Dewanna Bonner? Oh yeah, she's there now, bringing years of veteran experience, a couple of rings, and a whole lot of "I'm still better than half of y'all" energy. Now she's about to be swatting shots and grabbing rebounds like she's playing for a personal grudge against every opponent. Sophie Cunningham? The walking, talking definition of you hate her unless she's on your team. Fever fans used to talk all kinds of trash about her, and now they're scrambling to delete those tweets. She's bringing that scrappy, in-your-face, I might accidentally elbow you in the throat type of energy.
I didn't know her, but All-Star Weekend, we kind of bantered back and forth a little bit. And she's lovely. She has a lot of pressure on her shoulders. And I think a lot of people always have a lot to say with people they don't even know or shoes they've never been in. And for me, I think she's handling the pressure very well. She's doing a lot of great things for women's basketball. And I'm a fan. Like, I would love to play with her one day, for real.
Cheryl Swoops. She did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave.
And Sydney Colson, the comedy queen of the WNBA? Listen, she's about to make Indiana the funniest team in the league. Every locker room needs someone to keep the vibes right, and Colson is that person. But don't get it twisted. She can still ball. The Fever didn't just get jokes. They got a veteran who knows the game.
What is painfully clear, and what I've talked about in my other videos, is that the league, the Fever organization, are doing everything they should do to make sure their star is happy and that their star gets a ring. I didn't know they were going to load up like this, though. Dewanna Bonner, Sydney Colson, just re-signed Kelsey Mitchell. You already have Aaliyah Boston. You have Caitlin. You have Lexi.
Meanwhile, Cheryl Swoops is probably somewhere flipping through a newspaper, realizing the Indiana Fever just turned into a real contender overnight. The same team that nobody wanted to join now looks like an all-star pickup squad. At this point, it's not even about who joined Indiana. The real question is, who's next? Because the way this is going, don't be surprised if half the league suddenly remembers they always had dreams of playing for the Fever.
Stephanie White came in and said, okay, hold up. Let me go to Indeed.com and Indeed get some free agents to come in here that want to play, that are accomplished, seasoned veterans. She did all that. Cheryl's been nowhere to been found.
However, Dewanna Bonner is out here plotting, and honestly, can you blame her? She's looking at Caitlin Clark like a golden ticket to a WNBA title, and the Indiana Fever might just be the perfect team to make it happen. While the rest of the league is busy throwing shade or pretending they're not worried, Bonner is keeping it real. She knows talent when she sees it, and she's not about to let an opportunity like this pass her by. Because let's be honest, who wouldn't want to team up with a rookie who's already being treated like the second coming of Diana Taurasi? Caitlin Clark's not just hype. She's got the game, the confidence, and the ability to turn the Fever into actual contenders.
What excites you the most about this team that you're going to be joining?
I mean, they have dynamic pieces in CC and Kelsey Mitchell and AB, Lexi Hall. I mean, they have a great core, so why not just add to that and try to, take us to the next level in the playoffs.
The Fever aren't playing around anymore. They've been stockpiling talent like they're preparing for an apocalypse. And with Caitlin Clark running the show, they've suddenly got every rival fan base nervous. And the players? You know they're sitting in their group chats, sending nervous eye emojis to each other. The haters will say Clark is just a rookie, that she hasn't proven anything in the W yet. That's cute. They said the same thing about Sabrina Ionescu, and now she's out here breaking records in her sleep. Clark isn't just showing up to participate. She's stepping into the league like she owns real estate in everyone's head.
They try so long to get respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court. Instead of playing the game, they got to be drama because they're jealous. Instead of letting their skills speak for themselves, they got to be drama because they're jealous.
So now, rival teams and fans are left with two choices: respect what's happening in Indiana, or pretend it's not happening and get embarrassed later. Either way, the Fever aren't asking for permission. Well, just consider this a warning. The WNBA is about to get very uncomfortable for a lot of people. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.